Thor is about the god of thunder, who gets cast out of Asgard after he tries to destroy an entire race of frost giants, and spends the entire movie trying to get his hammer back. He also has an annoying brother who plays tricks or something. Remember the days before Disney bought Marvel? Anyway, it starts off in New Mexico with these three looking at some event, and I think they found it. So they drive right towards it and hit someone. Then we skip back to Norway about 1,000 years with a PG-13 battle between the Frost Giants and the Asgards. The Asgards won, took their power source, and went home. I guess Odin is telling the story to his sons Thor and Loki, and tells them that only one of them can become king one day. Gee, based on this movie's title, I wonder who that's going to be. Oh, what a surprise, it's Thor and his stupid hammer. He's about to be declared king even though his father is still alive, but is interrupted by the Frost Giants trying to steal back their power cube. They get stopped by this robot guard thing, and Odin decides it's best to keep the truce and just let it be. And this pisses Thor off. So Loki has a talk with him and basically convinces him to go to the Frost Giants world. So this jackass and his friends do, and Thor just starts killing the Frost Giants because he's an arrogant jackass. Apparently when the Frost Giants touch them, they get frostbite, except for Loki. Well, that's weird. I'm sure it's nothing. Thor pretty much destroys the entire place and practically gets them all killed until Odin comes in and saves them. And Odin is just like, Thor's just a kid, let's forget the whole thing. And the Frost King tells him no because Thor basically started a war. You know, I'm actually with the Frost King on this one. I know he tried to steal back the cube power thing, but what the hell was that response? Anyway, back at Asgard, Thor and Odin get into an argument, and Odin banishes Thor.
Father.
I don't know why, but this part always makes me laugh. And Odin puts some Worth spell on the hammer and throws it into a portal. And we're back to the beginning of the movie. Half an hour later, Thor starts freaking out about something, so Darcy tases him and they take him to the hospital, where Thor freaks out some more, so they just trank him. Oh look, someone found the hammer. Anyway, Jane and friends are looking at some weird pictures they took and see what looks like a person in the storm.
I think I left something at the hospital.
Does anyone else find it weird that her first thought was, that guy fell out of the sky? Well, Thor is gone, so they leave and hit him with the van again. Back at Asgard, Loki is wondering what happened at the Frost World, so he picks up the power cube and Odin tells him to stop. Why didn't he start to change until the camera moved away from his face? Anyway, turns out he's the Frost King's son, and Odin took him because...
I thought we could unite our kingdoms one day, bring about an alliance, bring about a permanent peace, through you.
Because you know what the best way to bring about an alliance is? Taking the other king's son! So Loki starts yelling at him for what he did, and Odin, I guess, dies for some reason. Back at Earth, Thor is at a diner, where some guys in there are talking about this heavy satellite that fell. But Thor knows it's really his hammer, so he goes to get it back. When Jane gets back to her research lab, she finds out that some organization called S.H.I.E.L.D. is taking all of her stuff for security reasons, because I guess they're allowed to do that. Whatever, back in Asgard, Thor's friends are going to Odin to ask him to unbanish Thor, but Loki is there instead.
You can bring your urgent matter to me. You're king.
Technically he's not king because Odin is still alive and has an it, he says no. Jumping back to Earth, Jane decides screw those S.H.I.E.L.D. guys and gives Thor a ride to get his hammer. I guess S.H.I.E.L.D. has built an entire camp around the hammer and Thor just fights his way in. Why is no one shooting at him? They all have guns, and this is a secret government base. There's literally no reason for them not to be trying to kill him. But they send this guy, who later becomes the stupidest Avenger of them all, to shoot him with an arrow. Because you know what's easier to shoot someone with than a bullet? A goddamn arrow. Thor eventually gets to the hammer but can't lift it because he's not worthy. Shouldn't he have figured that out when he couldn't summon it to him? But they arrest him. Loki appears to Thor at the camp and tells him that Odin died of heartbreak because he had to banish him and that their mother has forbidden his return. Which was all a lie. What an asshole. Then Eric comes to pick up Thor like a high schooler in detention and they just let him do it. Okay. Back in Asgard, Loki goes to the ice planet and turns out he's the one who let the Frost Giants into Asgard. The god of mischief. Who could have guessed? And makes a deal to let the Frost King kill Odin and take the power cube. Back on Earth, Thor and Eric go to a bar, and then Thor takes Eric's drunk ass back to Jane, and they have some boring conversation about stars or something. Back at Asgard again, Thor's friends are planning on going to Earth to get Thor back, and Heimdall the Gatekeeper hears them, and summons them to chew them out and then just leaves so they can go to Earth. And once they get there, they just so happen to land just outside of the town that Thor is in. Or is this the only place the bridge can take them? And if that's the case, what if they have to land in another part of Earth? Can they not do it? Screw it, Loki finds out and sends this giant robot guard thing to kill them. Back on Earth, these four just so happen to know exactly where to go to find Thor and tell him that Odin is still alive. Then Loki's robot guard thing shows up.
Is that one of Stark's?
It came from a tornado in the sky. Okay, this guy tries to talk with it and it just blasts them. Since he doesn't have his hammer, Thor helps evacuate the people while his god friends fight Destructobot here. What an idiot. Anyway, they're getting their ass kicked and somehow no one dies from this. So Thor tells everyone to leave, and tells Loki to kill him instead of them. So Destructobot smacks the crap out of him. And then there's this scene of, oh no, Thor died. Did anyone really think Thor was gonna die in his opening movie? Come on. Then Odin starts crying, which I guess makes Thor worthy, so he gets his hammer back, and he uses it to destroy the giant Destructobot. Then S.H.I.E.L.D. shows up just so Thor can make them give Jane her research back, and I guess he flies her to the portal door. And they go to Asgard, where the Frost King is about to kill Odin, but what a surprise, Loki betrays him to look like the hero. But Thor comes in and ruins it. So Loki blasts him out the window and goes to destroy the ice world. What is with these two? Can you imagine if there was 3 of them?
You can't kill an entire race.
He just tried to kill their entire race like 2 days ago. Whatever, they fight over it anyway, and then Thor just puts his hammer on Loki, but then uses it to destroy the portal bridge. This causes both of them to go over the edge, but Odin saves them, and Loki falls into the wormhole. Oh no, what if Loki's dead forever, because he doesn't ever do any tricks at all? Then Odin and Thor have a chat about what a great king he's gonna be after all the shit he just pulled, and I guess Jane is trying to find a way to get to Asgard. Then, just for sequel bait, Eric meets Nick Fury and he shows him a Tesseract, with, what a surprise, Loki. This is a good introduction to Thor. It shows how arrogant he is in the beginning, and how he changes into a heroic god towards the end. I like the dynamic between Thor and Loki, like how Loki was able to manipulate Thor in a way that made it seem like attacking the Frost Giants was Thor's idea. And then he makes sure that it gets screwed up so bad that Thor gets banished. I don't know why Thor didn't figure out he wouldn't be able to pick up his hammer if he couldn't summon it to him. Shouldn't that have been a sign that he had to earn his hammer back? Also, I don't know why Hawkeye was in this, other than to introduce him for the Avengers. The acting is really good in this. Chris Hemsworth makes a really good Thor. He can adequately portray his ignorance and thinking he can do whatever he wants just because he is a god, and can show his transformation after he learns what it means to be a great leader. Natalie Portman is alright as Jane Foster. She does a good job in her role, but I can't figure out what she's there for, other than to complain about her research being stolen and to give Thor a love interest. Tom Hiddleston is the best actor as Loki. He's great at showing concern for Thor even though he has a secret agenda behind it, and also showing his more deviant side. The visual effects are fantastic, as most Marvel movies are. Asgard and the Rainbow Bridge look really good with the vibrant colors and bright lighting, as in contrast to the dark environment of the Frost Giants world, which looks equally as good. The Frost Giants look great. I'm not sure if they are makeup or CGI or a combination of both, but they look really good either way. Well, it's time for Jane Foster to go away until Disney agrees to let Natalie Portman be the new Thor. Don't forget to do the YouTube stuff, and thanks for watching.